Hello and welcome to another broadcast here on the Stony Brook Esports channel. My name is Kevin, joined by Dylan, and today we are bringing you a matchup between the Stony Brook Esports team and the Iona Esports team for League of Legends. And Dylan, close to getting in game here. What are your initial thoughts about this matchup?
My initial thoughts is that, well, Stony Brook looks very strong as a team so far. For the past few games, they've been looking absolutely hysterically dominant.
Yep.
We're feeling such a strong team this season. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring, whether it's aggressive or patient gameplay. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring against Iona University.
Yeah, I mean, me and you were talking just before we went on the show, and I was looking through some of the stats that this team was putting up, and they have a 20-minute game time average. And, obviously not everyone's super familiar with League of Legends. Not everyone follows the pro scene. 20 minutes is about as short as you can get. Realistically, is about as short as you can get for an average because their longest game was 24 minutes.
Which is insane. In most professional League of Legends settings, you'll have some outlier games that are 22, 23 minutes long, but average game time is usually around 28 to 30 minutes,
Yep.
even for top-seeded teams versus bottom-seeded teams. So for Stony Brook to be looking to end games this quickly, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, and we are into draft right now. Stony Brook on the blue side, Iona on the red side. We've seen Step Aside play quite a bit of Kaisa so far. It's really been his go-to pick, and Step Aside also pretty much the top performer for Stony Brook. I mean, there was a single game where he dropped 17 kills and only died one time. So, I mean, you can't really get much more of a primary carry than that.
Absolutely. And with Stepside and Tong as well in the bot lane, that bot lane duo is just so
It's
well put
disgusting.
together.
Yeah.
It is. You would ban footage of that
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
television.
You censor it, give a we will give you a discretion. What you might see in the bot lane, it might scare your younger viewers, to be completely honest, because that's just how good they've been. Cheetong is, I want to say, will be the highest rated player in probably every game that he plays this year. I mean, he is a challenger player. You don't, I mean, collegiate esports has been taking steps year after year after year, and I feel like the ranks have been getting higher and higher. But still, to have a challenger player on a team does make a genuinely big difference.
And especially in such a leader role in the game as the support
Yeah,
position, you're often guiding your team around objectives. You're guiding your team around macro play,
yeah,
just play around the map in general, lane assignments. So to have your strongest player in the support position, while you may think in solo queue that's kind of a bad thing because you
yeah,
can't control your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
teammates, but in a competitive setting, having your strongest player be your support can genuinely win you the game.
It really can, because again, it's you can impact your bot lane, then you can roam mid, you can roam top, and you're spending half the game with your jungler anyways. So a vocal support player has been critical to a lot of teams throughout history.
Absolutely.
I mean, the one that I think want to think about the most for a North American perspective is Afromu. A vocal, aggressive, go at you kind of support that can really play a little bit of everything. And I want to get your initial reactions, Dylan, to the picks that are coming through so far. Aatrox more than likely going to be in the top lane. Smolder and Diana, I assume that's going to be a Diana jungle. Smolder has been a flex pick as of late, intended to play at the 80 carry position, but, it's not really held there solidly.
Absolutely. I mean, seeing Aatrox and Jarvan 4 locked in this early for Stony Brook tells you they're going to be looking to play aggressive. They're going to be looking to play in your face. They're looking to win you
Yep.
that early game. And playing into Diana's going to probably struggle into those three champions. Diana really wants to just go in and blow you up. And it's
Yeah.
so hard to do that into Aatrox and Syndra, both champs with disgusting disrupt that early in the game.
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much couldn't have gotten any worse for Diana unless there was a Poppy picked, but smart from Iona ban that out because, again, it's essentially if you pick a Poppy or a Diana into a Poppy or the other way around, Diana doesn't get to play the game anymore because the E-dash is literally the entire kit. Obviously, the E-dash used to be the ult, which was why, I mean, it still is important for Diana to get her ult. She really doesn't feel like much of a champion pre-6 anyways.
Oh, absolutely. And now that I see the Smolder and Hui locked in, that could be both a mid lane and bot lane flex for both of those champions.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen Hui in the past be played both mid, bot lane, and support, and Smolder's same way, top, mid, bot flex. So that doesn't tell you much about how they're going to be playing. I mean, I'm inclined to believe that Smolder will be going in the mid lane just to have that physical and magic damage split
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah.
But there's definitely an argument to be made for Hui to be going bot lane for Hui to be
Starner
going mid lane as
ban
well.
and Nautilus ban out as well. We're waiting for Iona to make their second ban. But again, Stony Brook, I like the aggression coming out with the J4, and a Yone ban might be a nod to one of Stony Brook's previous game where Aeroliners looked very good on that champion. Yet again, it's kind of hard to look bad in an 18-minute win. But again, the J4 specifically to me is just a great pick because it's an early game enabler. You can level 2 gank someone. You know, you can do red buff into bot lane gank, and you can try to get your extremely oppressive bot lane ahead very early into the game.
Absolutely. But what does puzzle me about the Yone ban, though, is that you'd often ban Yone when you see an AP jungler, if you see like a Lilia or if you see a Skarner or something that does heavy magic damage. But when
Yeah.
you see the Jarvan locked in, that kind of tells you that it's going to be playing a magic damage mid lane. So banning out the Yone feels kind of useless in that regard. But I do understand why they would ban it out anyway.
Yeah. Kaisa coming out, so step aside, not going to get his Kaisa in this game. Nonetheless, Kaisa, a very dominant pick as of recently, and reveals to you something else, is that Smolder will be a flex pick this game.
Absolutely. I mean, Kaisa also can be a mid lane flex, but does that doesn't sound correct in this position. I think this is going to be either Smolder top or Smolder top with Kaisa bot lane. I don't think they're going to try to throw around the Kaisa mid, especially into the Syndra. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty awful.
And, I mean, at least until later in the game when you can just start outranging her with the W. But early game, that wave control that Syndra has versus a Kaisa is really bad.
Absolutely. And especially in the past, Syndra would ordinarily struggle into most AD carry picks mid lane, but Kai'Sa's just not one to have that super strong early game pressure.
It's not like a Tristana where you can W in, you can rocket jump on and just throw out your E and then Q and then get that proc. I mean, it's just so much more damage coming out from a Tristana with either Halo Blades or Press the Attack. Jhin Leona bot lane coming out for Stony Brook. What are your thoughts on that? Is it aggressive enough for you? Do you
Absolutely.
feel like that Leona is just going to be able to jump on right away?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kai'Sa definitely does struggle into Leona. Kai'Sa's a short range AD carry. She finds it hard to get contest minions into Jhin, a slightly larger range AD carry, someone who's definitely able to whittle her down before she's able to come online. Yeah, a lot of low gold, but still being able to have high damage and burst and poke. And Kai'Sa really struggles against that, and Kai'Sa especially struggles into Leona because Kai'Sa can't really use any of her abilities until Leona uses hers. It's hard for Kai'Sa to poke out Leona without Leona being able to go all in super early with the Jhin. The Jhin has extra lockdown on any of Leona's abilities, so I expect this bot lane might be a wash, honestly, going into
it really
game.
might be. I mean, I want to think specifically about the Rakan pick because that's, it's a little bit appeal. With the W, it can get a little bit appeal. With the ult, obviously, the charm coming out, it can help a little bit more, but it's not something that's really giving you the Lulu kind of polymorph peel, the slows coming down from the Qs and the shielding and all of that. It's not something that I really think is going to neutralize a bot lane. Then again, I don't think you're going to do anything in the draft that will stop Chi-Tong from coming out and just trying to destroy your bot lane.
And another important thing to notice is that we see Diana Rakan, both champions who kind of struggle in that first facilitating engage.
Yeah.
Both champions really like having like a meteor tank to be able to like get their secondary.
Yeah.
They're good secondary playmakers. I mean, this kind of leaves Rakan as like the only true engage. It's hard for Diana to find an angle without Rakan going in first and Kai'Sa to follow up.
Yeah.
So this Smolder Hui picks look kind of anti-synergistic. Smolder and Hui are both champions that like to fight from long range and be able to use their front line to play safe, play patiently in team fights, and look for slow whittling damage over time. But that just doesn't synergize with the Diana, Kai'Sa, Rakan, who just all want to jump in and use all of their abilities as soon as possible and just get as much damage out as possible before dying.
It's really going to come down to which of these teams can find a better engage. Specifically, can Diana or Rakan find an angle without someone else facilitating for them? There's no Malphite for an original engage that's going to throw the team off. There's no Horn either that's going to be able to go in from long range. So, it still is doable in the sense that if these players find the angles or have the skills to set themselves up consistently, it can look very good. It can look very oppressive, but it's not a reliable thing. It's not throwing out a Leona Solar Flare, and if it doesn't hit anyone, you don't really have to follow up on it. It's also not a J4 ult where it's pretty big. It's kind of really hard to whiff a J4 ult because you flag and drag in, you have flash on top that you realistically can get onto a backline in every fight without really having to expend that much or without having to find a great angle.
Absolutely. And I mean, what concerns me the most about Iona University's draft is that Rakan has to be able to get in without being distracted by the Jarvan for CC,
Yep.
the Syndra CC, Aatrox disengage, even Leona, just any sort of lockdown at all, and this Rakan's going to go
Yeah.
pop. Rakan's going to be a pile of feathers at the end
Yep.
of every team fight.
I
This could be
mean,
pretty bad.
specifically, Syndra, the peel that can come out from Syndra, especially in the later games when all of her abilities start to get empowered by her passive,
Absolutely.
it's disgusting what she can do to champions like Rakan and Diana, where it is interruptible. Both of their dashes are interruptible. It's not like a Gragas will he'll have priority on pretty much every other ability in the game.
Absolutely. I mean, Syndra and Jin both love doing damage to squishy targets. They both just want to let loose and just fire upon the enemy.
Yep.
And really, what worries me for them, and I guess which would be good for us, is that Syndra can ult literally anybody on the enemy team, and it's probably a good play. It's not
Yeah.
like you don't see, as you mentioned before, you don't see a Gragas, you don't see like a,
I
you
mean,
don't see a Mega Gnar.
Diana, can do a little pseudo tankiness by buying a Zhonya's, buying a Seeker's Arm Guard,
Totally.
and playing in stasis for a little bit. But at the same time, then you're saying you have to spend X amount of gold to be able to survive a fight in the first place.
Absolutely. And that might not even be possible because these champions coming out from Stony Brook, the Jarvan, the Aatrox, the
Yeah.
Syndra, they have such strong skirmishing power early. Like, it could be very hard for Diana to be able to spend 1,600 gold in a Seeker's Arm Guard. Diana is someone who wants to spike on her first item.
Yeah.
She wants to be able to actually do damage, and having to invest in early Seeker's Arm Guard is just going to put her behind for so long. And that might be a buy that you can't recover from.
Now, honestly, I want to approach this from a different angle.
Yep.
And historically, when we've seen teams in competitive settings where they're not really confident with their early game ability, they're not really confident with being able to go one-on-one in terms of a skill-based matchups. And what we've seen from those teams is largely they go for scaling.
Yeah.
They go for lanes that they can neutralize and just rely on heavy tanks, heavy engage, and typically a hard carry, 80 carry. Something like a Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
Do you think that teams should start to adapt to that kind of play style when they are up against Stony Brook? Because it doesn't really feel like many of them are going to beat them in the early game.
However, another issue with that, though, is that you need to find a way to buy time. And buying time
Yeah.
into a team that's playing this aggressively like Stony Brook could be very difficult. When you're playing patiently, you want to find ways to disengage. But this Jarvan is going to make it so difficult to buy time. Jarvan is going to be able to get so many dragons early. And that's often a
Yeah.
big win condition for scaling teams, is denying dragons, denying these void grubs, denying barons. And I don't know. What worries me is that they're just going to start, the moment they start falling behind. But as you see, is we're getting right into game now.
Yeah.
We see Rakan, we see Kai'Sa holding down the bot side pretty well. We see Aatrox already in that first top lane brush.
Going to be
Just-
getting some trades off early. I mean, obviously nothing super beneficial for him. It's not your Darius level 1 plays that you see in solo queue.
Oh, absolutely not. But this Aatrox, I mean, just being able to get that early chunk makes it so much harder for Smolder to really start poking out this Aatrox. A big advantage in picking a ranged top laner like Smolder with a rune like Grasp and an Aatrox is that this Smolder is just going to be able to be annoying and stop Aatrox from wanting to push plates and develop a gold advantage. Because once Aatrox hits 6, it's going to be very hard for this Smolder to be able to lane. So he wants to be able to whittle this Aatrox down over time, but this Aatrox already having an HP lead this early in the lane, this could be troublesome for Smolder.
Yeah. I want to see if Cheetong uses maybe a potential flash on in early. I've seen Leona's definitely do that, as looking to walk up right now.
Just going to get some of that pressure down. Jin Leona's definitely going to be able to have priority in this lane. Rakan level 1, non-existent. Kai'Sa level 1, not that strong. I mean, it's pretty strong, but it's definitely not strong compared to Jin Leona. Leona gets 1 Q in, 1 stun, and followed up with a Jin auto Q, and that's a bunch of health gone already.
Especially if you can line that up properly with a 4th shot early in the game. It's that guaranteed crit no matter what happens. And I do like the fact that Diagram does take the exhaust on Rakan. I feel like that's very needed in this matchup to just, again, try to neutralize anything that this Stony Brook bot lane can bring out in the early game.
Absolutely, and the exhaust doesn't just matter for lane. This exhaust could be really important against Aatrox, against Syndra, especially when Leona finds these engages. Just being able to lock down even further, keeping this Kai'Sa alive as long as possible, allowing Kai'Sa to be able to take that barrier and play a little more selfishly.
Cheetong getting in early on the jungle for Iona. Derpy Bird ain't going to be too happy about that because it's just making the J4's life all that much easier.
And we can see right now Jarvan's already walking into the jungle. Leona's locking down this Diana.
Early skirmish coming out. Jarvan should have his flag and drag out, but Doesn't look like we're going to get that much of a skirmish.
Rakan going in.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a questionable decision, I think, on
Jarvan is just
Rakan's
going to be able to beat him the entire time.
forcing
Jarvan
the Rakan flash.
flashing out, still fighting. Jarvan now flashing over the other wall. And it's going to be a first blood for Iona, quickly traded back by Tempest. So not exactly the cleanest start to the game, but it does end up being a 1-for-1 trade. 5.9k. Stony Brook still ahead because CS leads across the map, but that Derpy Bird can't be happier about the way that this game is starting for him because, like you said, Diana's so reliant on that first item power spike. Well, you're 400 gold closer.
Absolutely, and we can see that the Hui had to flash, the Rakan had to flash, and the Exhaust, and you can see that only the Jarvan really had to flash. So this could be a good opportunity for Stony Brook to get back into the game and push that advantage even further. They could start looking at these mid plays with Syndra, the scatter of the weak. The moment this Hui gets stunned, he's going to be taking so much damage.
Yeah, and Aeroliners continuing to have a health advantage in the top lane as we see a gank up here. Smolder flashing out, and that's going to be the end of the play. No follow-up there. But again, Smolder, flash down, 5 minutes, regank top.
Absolutely, especially with like a champion like Jarvan who can afford to start dropping camps to be able to push this Aatrox lead even further. We can see top lane's already up by 11, 12 CS. And that's devastating in a lane like this. Aatrox is a champion who loves to snowball. And as we can see now, Hui just got hit by Scatter of the Weak.
Yep.
But going back to the top lane, see 17 CS difference already. That will start being recovered as Smolder starts farming under tower. But we can see this is looking really good for Stony Brook so far.
Just the gold lead, I have a feeling, is just going to keep building little by little as these CS leads continue to open up. Again, the bot lane has been much closer than I think we expected so far. I mean, it's not the most aggressive world as now, as I say, that Cheetong looking to step up.
Yeah, Kaisa not able to get that final passive proc off on the Leona. That would have been a ton of damage, but unfortunately, a slow pushing wave into the bot lane tower. We can see Diana is coming to cover off a potential dive from the Jarvan, but unbeknownst to Diana, Jarvan's just clearing his Raptors. He might look for a bot side invade if he doesn't know that Diana's coming around the backside.
I think Stony Brook will still be quick enough on this play to make something out of it, although Cheetong really not in a good position. Popping the W, looking to just go out as soon as he can. Does Eon to Diana and flash out, so Cheetong playing that well, and see if there's any potential follow-up as in it is here.
It could be a while before that play starts to manifest itself again. Jhin already used his W early, so there's no guaranteed lockdown for the Jarvan play. But looking mid lane right now, Syndra's catching this way out.
And a
no
one-on-one kill coming out for Tempest. It wasn't anything flashy, but he gets the job done as now Aeroliner's popping his ult in the top lane just for a little bit of tempo, but that's exactly what you want to see from your Syndra.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Syndra being ahead this early in this lane, it's usually normally pretty hard to get kills against Hui this early on, but having that 2-kill advantage this early on, Syndra, once she gets that first item and starts running around the map, those snowball can be devastating.
I have a feeling Tempest might be popping ult whenever he feels like it this game, and again, like you said in draft, potentially killing anyone on the other team.
Absolutely. I mean, bot lane looks to be, which we thought would be the most aggressive lane, seems to not much is happening. It looks pretty even. Kaisa has a small CS advantage, but that could sway either way depending on how these waves crash under tower. But looking top lane, this
Aeroliner's flashing in, one more auto, and it's dead. Aeroliner's with another solo kill, showing Tempest, anything you can do, I can do as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Rakan spotting out Jarvan on the dragon, but a solo Rakan is not going to be able to do much against the Jarvan. Jarvan's just going to sit there and stare at him and be like, oh, what are you going to do about it? And smite the dragon in front of his face.
Aeroliner's with some Qs in and close, but now he's definitely winning this trade as Derpy Bird needs to be a little bit scared. The healing coming out from Aatrox is extreme as we pan away for just a second, but nonetheless, Aatrox is walking out of that. I think both of them got a little bit scared with their health bar so low as another Scatter of the Week landing from Tempest. No ult on cooldown, so no solo kill coming out.
Absolutely, and that was a good route by Hui, being able to land that knockdown against Syndra, disrupting any further combos. But Cheetong going in on the Leona right now.
Kaisa is looking so dead on my screen, trying to kite out. Not going to be over-aggressive from Stony Brook, just a big chunk, so it's going to be an even bigger CS lead for Step Aside.
Absolutely, and looking mid, we can see this Hui's already struggling to catch most of this wave.
Flash forward. Tempest looking for a second solo, and he finds it back to the bottom lane as we have more aggression coming out from Cheetong. But Step Aside, not the carry this game. Their solo laners are doing it all for him. 2 solo kills for Tempest, 1 for Aeroliners, and Tempest is now 3-0. I think he's just going to keep going forward anytime he sees the option.
Absolutely, and once this bot side of the game, including Syndra, start to group up together, we can see already that the Jhin and the Syndra damage will start piling up. There's so much base damage, but recalls are being interrupted. This Kaisa Rakan are looking mighty gankable right now, and we can see Diana's hovering in the bot side bush.
Jarvan still not level 6, so no Cataclysm options there. I mean, that damage coming out is seriously a lot higher when Jarvan has that. The lethal is much higher, and it's kind of needed when you have Jhin and Leona.
Absolutely.
Not exactly the most burst-heavy champions at all times because Jhin is so reliant on that 4th shot. Another Scatter of the Weak, but again, no ultimate from Tempest, so he'll probably be on a bit of a mental cooldown in terms of the aggression.
Absolutely, and we can see Jarvan being able to get uncontested grubs on champions that love to push in a tower. Syndra, Jhin, Aatrox, the wave clear is basically instant. So we can see that just being able to get those 3, maybe even 6 grubs later on.
And it's half the HP again. Kosh Kyra just not having a fun time in this matchup, but Derpy Bird trying to change it a little bit as the full ult combo, E in for the autos. He's going to take some more tower shots in it, is here to clean up a kill, so it will likely go 1-for-1, but a great CC coming out from Kosh Kyra will keep his jungler alive, and the Derpy Bird pretty much the only one for the Gales that's keeping this game alive.
Absolutely. I mean, Diana getting the shutdown is massive. Diana really wants that first item, as mentioned
And it
before.
might be overextending a little bit as he's going to get killed. Not exactly sure why he was going for that play as he had no one really there to support him besides Chi-Tong. And it's just going to be another kill over the Gales as now Aeroliners is getting severely low, but he might look to turn this one around, forcing another flash out of the Smolder. And no matter what's going on, Aeroliners seems to be on this solo island doing well.
Absolutely. I mean, this Aatrox, we can see Diana's hovering that top side in case they started looking for a dive, but Aatrox is just going to reset, calmly say, okay, I'm just going to get my first item, I'm just going to walk back to lane, and you're going to be scared for your life for the next 5 minutes with your flash down.
Yeah. It's just not a fun place to be when the Jarvan has seemed so willing to just go on any play that he sees. And again, Tempest going down, I believe that was a shutdown as well over the Derpy Bird, so I'm wondering where his gold at is right now. It has to be high. Probably not first in the game, but somewhere close to that.
Absolutely. I mean, we can see Jhin Leona calmly pushing plates with those grubs. There's nothing that this Kaisa Rakan can really do on their own. They know that they're Diana's topside. They don't have information on Jarvan, but it's safe to say they're probably a little scared walking up under tower right now.
Yeah, as this tower is almost completely dead. 4th plate falling off now, and it looks like they're going to get the last one before plates fall off. So a full tower and full plates for this bot lane Jhin. It's going to be a very rich man despite having no kills.
Absolutely. And we can see that this early game advantage in all 3 lanes, this could come back to bite. Right now, Diana seems to have all of the gold on the team right now. And as mentioned before, Diana might struggle going in later on against the Syndra, the Jhin, the Leona lockdown. Jhin being able to ult from half a screen away. I mean, Diana has a lot of work cut out for her to convert this lead into a win.
And Chi-Tong stepping forward, a lot of follow-up CC onto the Rakan, but it's not really the best target as Stepaside having a hard time choosing his targets right now. Nowhere for him to really go in, and Chi-Tong going to fall instead in it, looking for a way out. Flag and drag will get him to safety, but some more follow-up CC from Kosh Kyra, and it's going to be a double kill for the Smolder TPing down. And that's about as good as a play as the Gales could really hope for. They're really making Stony Brook fight for everything that they have, and you really got to talk about the Jarvan falling down to 0-3-1. Not the best performance coming out from him.
Absolutely. I mean, we can see that the Diana's already converted her lead into a Liandry's, and that's going to be helpful for doing this Aatrox, this Jarvan, this Leona. These champs that love stacking health and with lots of effective HP, having Liandry's burn will be pretty important later on in team fights, especially when she can play it slow, throw her Qs out slowly, wait for the right time to jump in.
It makes me wonder if Derpy Bird is going to go for a more HP and resistance-heavy build after this, because obviously the Liandry's is going to be much more gold valuable if he is looking for extended fights.
Absolutely. I mean, but also look at this top play right now. We can see that Aatrox and Smolder are similar in health. Smolder may have the double buffs, but at any moment, Aatrox could say, I'm flashing in, I'm flashing with Q, with ult, and you might be a dead little dragon.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, a 2-in-1 Smolder feeling much better than he was about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, absolutely.
The 2-in-1 feels much better than the 0-in-1. And it's also one of those classic top lane moments in solo queue where you're smashing your opponent the entire time and then your team randomly gives him a double kill. But despite that, Aeroliner's still trying to go forward and make aggressive things happen. The flash Q not finding the interrupt on the Diana, and because of that, he's going to get run down. Derpy Bird now up to 3-0-3 on the game. Tempest was looking for a cheeky little play over the wall, but Thought better by Kosh Kyra to play the ward down as we're getting another skirmish here in the mid lane.
This Diana could be caught. I mean, Jarvan went in already. Has to flash out.
Tempest
Ult's back
still has
in.
the ult, so Tempest really needs to look to unload somewhere. Will choose the Diana, just barely getting him with the Comet, so it will be a shutdown over to Tempest. 4-1, he's definitely the richest player.
Absolutely. I mean, he's stacking up this Archangel. This Archangel is only 60 mana away from being fully stacked. The Merc Treads might prove to be really valuable against this Diana damage. The Rakan lockdown, the Hui lockdown even, the Hui damage. So much magic damage, it makes you wonder, will the Syndra die?
I mean, pretty much there's magic damage coming out from every single member of the Gales in some form or another, whether it's primary damage or secondary.
And it could be, especially the shielding, super valuable into the Diana and Kai'Sa burst. Once the Seraphs is fully completed, I could be worried about how this Diana's going to convert it.
Yep.
Syndra could easily buy a Zanya's, easily buy time for his team. Leona, Jhin, amazing lockdown.
The only thing is that if you're Tempest, you're not really thinking about itemizing defensively, though, because you are the gold lead on your team. You do want to step up and do a majority of the damage share, especially because Step Aside is on a Jhin, where he's not going to be pumping out as much DPM as he would on something like the Kai'Sa.
Oh, of course, but we also have to understand that Syndra's a lot of base damage. The ult does more damage per lower HP, so you could afford to build more defensively on Syndra compared to, let's say, other control mages like Orianna or even Hui. Syndra's a lot more leeway when it comes to builds because all Syndra has to do is get a good ult angle.
See, in League of Legends, and one thing I love about League of Legends broadcasting is that's why I have you here, because I didn't know that's how Syndra ult works. I've still been playing this game for 7 years, so it's not like I don't know nothing, but it's just I do not know those nuances of the game as well as you do, so gotta love that. Is Leona ult coming out, just going to land the slow, so it's going to be an easy retreat for Dolphin Lord 15. That's probably the only time I'll say his name in full, as that is a mouthful to say.
Absolutely. We can see the Syndras walking bot lane to cover off. Now that bot lane's got the tower, Jhin and Leona are just going to sit mid. Kai'Sa, Rakan also respecting that. So we can see that Syndra Hui going to be playing around the bot side. I probably won't expect much action. Both champions are probably just going to shove back into each other. But looking top lane, a lot of juicy trades being put down.
Skirmish potentially in the bot lane, as I think the Derpy Bird is going to try to fight anytime he possibly can because of this gold lead that he has. Dylan, I got to ask you, as we have a little bit of downtime, what's your favorite name in this game?
Honestly, I don't know. I think that Derpy Bird's kind of a classic. It really reminds you of that old League of Legends, 2015, 2016. Just like
it is a vibe.
Absolutely, but
I think I got to go with Step Aside.
Step Aside also.
I think that's
pretty good name.
I think that's a really good name. I could see Step Aside, making like a World's Finals play and just like some Captain Flowers screaming his name. I can see that happening.
Step Aside, making the enemy step aside.
Yeah, or something like that. Make them sit down.
Absolutely, and it definitely matches a champion like Jhin, but looking bot lane, Syndra
tons of damage.
Ultimate.
Seraph shield coming out, so Kosh Kyra will be able to step away from that skirmish. Tempest, again, just trying to push the advantage that he has, and I love that from players. You gotta, when you're in the position to carry a game, you gotta recognize that, and you gotta keep your foot on the gas.
Absolutely, and Syndra pushing this item advantage. You can see a 30 CS lead, a 3 kill lead. Hui doesn't even have tier 2 boots yet, and Syndra's already working towards her second item. Like this Hui is kind of at the poverty line right now.
Another scout of the league. Oh, but it's Kosh Kyra landing another ult. I did not see Cheetong behind him, so it will be a clean kill coming out for Tempest. Not exactly a one-on-one, but he'll still take it.
Absolutely. I mean, Syndra's just happy to be able to pump damage out and not have to worry about this Diana jumping on her right now.
Yeah. Cheetong, again, we were saying that supports can make things happen all over the map. Well, that's one example of it.
All right, now looking for some downtime mid, they're going to look to push that mid
Another
tower.
scout of the week and some more follow-up. This is going to be potentially an easy kill onto Rakan, and it will be the first for Step Aside.
Absolutely, and this mid tower is looking everything but dead right now. It's about to crash down. Aatrox pushing those waves into Smolder. I mean, if you're red side right now, you're wondering, okay, where can I walk? Into champions like Syndra, the Jarvan. Anytime any of these champions are out of vision, you start wondering, oh my god, can I contest any of my jungle right now?
Pretty much. And another thing I want to pull attention to right now is despite the fact that Stony Brook and Iona are even on kills at 7 apiece, Stony Brook still with the CS lead and still with the Dragon advantage.
Absolutely. And we can even look at the gold lead right now, and we see 3,000 gold ahead on a team like this, and you start wondering, how big will this lead get? How can they convert this?
It will probably start to balloon very soon. Now, Dylan, not much of a gambler myself, but if you had to take the over-under on 21 minutes right now, what are you taking? Because I think it's very clearly the over.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, over. I would even start wondering over under like 28, 29 minutes.
Yeah. So again, promising performance coming out from Iona so far, but we might be counting them out a little bit too soon as Heatong Getting jumped on a little bit, but
Having to pop the ultimate on the Diana to say, get off of me.
yeah. Diana, with the locket already, is still fairly tanky, and especially with no Kaisa in on that play, it's kind of hard to burn through that much HP this early on.
I don't know. I'm seeing
Very
a different story
aggressive
right now.
play from Derpy Bird going all the way in. Kaisa there to follow up and Smolder all over the top. Diana is getting very low, though, as Aeroliners is just tanking his way through all 4 members, getting so low now, flashing back in. Third Q doesn't land. Now in the bot side, we have a one-on-one coming out, and it will be won by J4. Step aside, looking for some more kills, but he's going to get jumped on by Rakan. Smolder should have more than enough damage to finish it off, and it looks like it's going to be an even, oh, no, 3 for 2 coming out, actually, as Iona barely being positive in that play, but tower gold traded back, so it should be, all things considered, about an even gold trade.
Absolutely, and we see the value of the Rakan exhaust, being able to slow down Aeroliners on that Aatrox, being unable to get that Q3 out. That just shows you how important move speed and damage reduction is in this game. Rakan saving the play topside single-handedly. But we can see the Rift Herald being dropped bot side, being able to crack open that tier 2 tower, start hitting on those base towers. This could be a weak point later on in the game, especially with Baron coming up soon.
Aatrox, more trading coming out and forcing again another flash out of Smolder, but Aeroliners could look to continue to follow it up. Another EQ combo is going to land. One more should do the trick. Auto, oh, but he didn't get the second one in, and finally does. Another dash forward, and I believe that was a different proc to end up killing him, and as well, Keetong, he was there again, always there with the solar flare.
Absolutely. And we can look bot side right now. Syndra, Jarvan just looking to clear camps, get ready for this, start looking at this Baron. They have a lot of vision to clear on the top side of the map. Maybe they're aware of it, maybe they're not. But what I'm seeing right now is that this top tower is also being pushed in. The Aatrox, the Leona, this way can kind of clear the wave. It looks kind of neutral. Jhin slowly pushing in those waves. Static Shiv, that's basically uncontested wave clear. This Kaisa knows that she cannot afford to walk up right now, especially when Aatrox, Leona aren't visible. Speak of the devil, and she appears a control ward, spotting both of them on the way down to mid lane.
Obviously, Jhin can lock you down from long range as well. Deadly Flourish, again, essentially works from a quarter across the map in any given areas. Aeroliners looking for another 1v1, and it's not really much of a fair one, as he is just going to slap all the damage he needs onto Kosh Kyra and pick up, what, his second solo kill of the game, and Kosh Kyra 1 in 6. I believe 4 of those deaths have been in one-on-one duels as well.
Absolutely, we can see that he's slowly working towards the Leandries, but big Diana ultimate pop right now.
Tempest in a bad spot. He's going to be brought down. A little bit of friendly fire as it pulls him closer into Dolphin Lord to get the kill, but it's a 3 for 1 as Stony Brook kind of just hitting them with the wallets right there.
Absolutely. Jhin, rapid fire cannon, big lockdown item. You look at a rapid fire cannon and think, oh, that's not that much damage, but when you think about what that brings for Jhin, I mean, the conversion between attack speed and damage.
And move speed.
Absolutely, and we can see that rapid fire set up a lot of the play, opening up the W, opening up the further lockdown from the Jarvan and the Leona. That top tower cracking down, big payday for Aatrox, looking to get that Profane Hydra purchase.
I mean, it's just the Aatrox is honestly in a position to carry the game by himself, and in a game where he doesn't need to. We saw how strong that Aatrox was in all of those fights. Again, kind of hard for them to deal with Aeroliners, considering that they don't have a ton of lockdown. I mean, you have the fear that can come out from Kosh Kyra, you have the Rakambo coming out, and you have a Diana ult that is, you know, pseudo CC at best. So, you know, the exhaust is going to be the most effective thing against Aeroliners, but guess what? If you exhaust Aeroliners, you're not using it against Tempest, you're not using it against J4.
Absolutely, and we can see the value of the low CC is really coming back to bite them right now. We see 4 Stony Brook's members having the Merc Treads. I mean, you wouldn't really want to build Merc Treads on Jhin, but aside from that, all these champions are going to have just enough tenacity to not really have to worry about the wave fear anymore, to not worry about the Rakan W. Big Rakan ult coming in, though, right now.
I think it might just be a retreat coming out from Iona, and it will, but the Derpy Bird getting caught out a little bit. He does have some HP with that Sunfire. Dashing in for an ultimate, it's just going to hit onto the front line, so I don't know how much value it's going to bring. As Stony Brook, I think, is just going to stand and fight, but they lose 3 already. Tempest coming in, could look to scatter the leak, but gets feared right away. Does get it in the end. Big shield coming out. Step aside, needs to get out of his ult, find another shot. Bouncing grenade, can it kill? The shield just lasts enough. Deadly Flourish also going to miss. Scatter the weak for one last kill, and Syndra will find it. Great play coming out from Stony Brook as they're reaching the 23-minute mark, and they're pulling ahead. Definitely good enough to win by 28. I think your prediction might be right.
Absolutely. I mean, the Syndra Archangel's value, pretty massive. Playing so patiently around all those cooldowns. I mean, if I were Syndra in that position, I would have walked away a long time ago, but recognizing his limits, knowing exactly when he can push forward against the Kai'Sa and the Smolder.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's also the damage of having the confidence that I kill you before you kill me. You know, not in anywhere good of a position that a carry should be. TPing into the middle of a fight, maybe if you're set, you're like, this is value, this is peak value. But for Syndra, maybe a ward a little bit further back next time.
Absolutely, but that's why he's the one playing and not us.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a very fair point. I don't have enough time to do what these people do.
Absolutely. We can see the Jarvan looking for the engage.
In a little bit sooner than the rest of the team, though, as it's a very split fight. Dolphin Lore getting forced out very quickly, and Aeroliners is again just taking the entire enemy team. Rakan in a bad position, and Derpy Bird's going to get burned down. Tempest, where is he? He's on the other side of the fight, still holding on to that ultimate. Tempest going forward now, but he's just not needed so far. As he's walking through slows, he's walking through everything, but Stony Brook still come up 2 for 0, and they should secure their 3rd dragon, as a snipe coming off from Kosh Kyra will secure 1 back. But again, it's the support.
Absolutely. But also, Diana building this tank build, the Sunfire, the Abyssal Mask, the Tabbies, we can see that her damage is not enough. When she was able to get onto Jhin, it seemed like the Jhin only lost maybe 40% of his health bar, and we can see that comes from a problem with draft. You don't have frontline for this Diana.
Tempest getting another one, just pressing R. Didn't even need the Scatter of the Week on that one. And he might be telling Smolder to go back to spawn and rethink his decisions about life.
I would be thinking too. We can see they're looking for a Baron play. This Aatrox kind of holding the flank, just making sure that this Kai'Sa Rakan get up to no funny business, starting the dragon,
I mean, I don't know exactly why, if I would call this Baron position if I was in this game, but yet again, I'm not a professional player, as Diana is still alive, so you are just handshaking on a smite battle right now, but Baron still going down. Leona finally going over the other side of the wall, throwing out the solar flare quickly. Diana into the pit right away. They could look to burn Diana down if they get enough time to do so. Rakan going deep. Jhin getting low. Finally turning around onto Diana, and there it goes. Only smite on the board is actually for no one, as In It died as well. Baron will go over to Stony Brook, and it's going to be a rout in the end. As I didn't exactly see how Kosh Kyra died on the other side, but I'm going to assume that J4 died for that kill.
Absolutely. The Aatrox, the Jarvan working together, just so much lockdown, so much disrupt. No amount of tenacity is saving you from Aatrox knocking up 3 times into a Jarvan flag.
Yeah. As Stony Brook, they end up getting the Baron, and now they're just going to shove down mid. Should get at least 1 inhibitor on this play, as the death timers for the Gales are still a little bit long. And it does look like that is the call. Maybe just the mid outer or tier 3 tower and back off. That looks like it should be it.
And when you're Stony Brook right now, all you're thinking is, I'm probably sitting on so much gold right now. Like,
yeah.
My pockets are heavy. My character should be moving slower.
I mean, 3 items for Syndra, and it is technically 3.5 because the needlessly large rod does provide so much AP. Looking up to the Aatrox, 3 items on him. The Jhin, 3 items as well. And you compare that to their counterparts, 2 items for Kai'Sa, 2 items for Hui. I mean, in all fairness, 3 items for Diana, but they are on the cheaper side.
Yeah, and also Smolder wanting this time. The good thing for Smolder right now is that since they weren't able to crack open those inhibitors, Smolder has like a kind of safe time to farm. He looks a little homeless right now, trying to find a wave to catch without dying.
Trying to find something to farm without dying, to be honest.
We can see that they're pushing their advantage in the bot side of the jungle now, clearing all the vision, clearing all the buffs, just trying to crack down this bot tower.
It does look like the play for Stony Brook will be the bot side, as they have 3 members hovering there. Step aside towards the mid lane, catching that, and it does look like it's going to be a 3-prong attack, as Aeroliners will look to shove the top line.
Absolutely. Looking mid right now, Jhin missing the W. Look at that massive hit. That Infinity Edge for Jhin was such a strong buy. Kai'Sa just lost 40% of her health bar to a non-4th shot auto.
I mean, I pretty much can't take the 4th shot, as Heatong really forward, going to go over the wall as well. Don't know if any of his team is going to follow up just yet, and there goes the J4-0. Stony Brook, again, just throwing their wallets at the opposition, and they're just going to come up aces with everything as they wipe 4 off the map in the blink of an eye. 27-41. Can they end the game exactly at 28? Dylan, are you a prophet here?
I might be. I don't know if 14 seconds is enough time to take 2 towers and a Nexus. And
it does if you do a little bit of trolling in between.
True, but looking at this bot tower might take a little too long. It might be just above 28 minutes.
Just, oh no,
28 flat.
2801, 2801. Dylan was off by a single second. Well, you lose your house, you lose your keys.
Yeah,
you lose,
I lost.
you
I
lose
lost the
everything.
mortgage, but Stony
You
Brook gets
lost
a
the
win.
mortgage. But Stony Brook end up taking this win with 29 kills in the end, just over 28 minutes. So bringing up their game average just a little bit, but still. I don't think they particularly care about that too much. I think they really care about the win. And Dylan, one thing I want to throw at you is we were sitting with Step Aside for a little bit, watching him play some Galio mid for some reason.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the ranks of the other team of Iona, and despite the disparity that you would think, the ego might be a little bit higher for Stony Brook, he was very humble about it. He was like, well, they did actually beat some grandmasters, some master players the other week, so you never really know. It shows that they're preparing for these games and that they're not counting out any opponent, no matter what the ranks may look like on paper. And it wasn't the cleanest game in the world, but in the end, they still get it done.
Yeah, and it was a little sloppy. We saw a bunch of little early game deaths that probably shouldn't have happened. I mean, some deaths are kind of unavoidable when you're playing into a Diana with a little bit of gold.
And when you're playing as aggressive as you are.
Yeah, I mean, Aatrox taking a while to start snowballing against the Smolder, but once the ball started rolling, it seemed to not stop. It was just getting heavier and heavier. That big snowball that they were building might be made of concrete. I don't know, to finish in 20 minutes.
And I want to bring up one more point, is the fact that Step Aside, despite not being the primary carry of this game, it feels like he doesn't make mistakes. And that's something you have to love out of your AD carry, because when he has a lead, he's not going to throw away a game, and when he doesn't have a lead, he's going to contribute to a win.
Definitely, and even on like a lower economy AD carry like Jin, just finding the right angles to drop a curtains call to be able to say, no, I'm slowing you down for these engages. He always seemed to find. He was always in the perfect spot in team fight. There was maybe no situations where I felt like the Jin was out of position or that the Jin wasn't doing enough for his team. The Jin seemed to be like the perfect pick with this team composition.
Yeah. And with that, we are going to send it over to a quick break before we come back with Game 2, where Stony Brook will try to close out their third consecutive match with a 2-0 score. to another pick and ban phase. Dylan, got some bans already. Got some stuff for you to break down. Break it down for me.
All right, I see Emilio Caravan. I start thinking, okay, they're worried about enchanter picks. They're worried about. Never mind, they bring out the poppy. They're just banning out Ketong. But when I see Emilio Karma bans, I start thinking, okay, they might be worried about Lucian. They might be worried about Ezreal. They might be worried about any type of heavy poke shoving in lanes. But the Cassante blind coming in from Iona University,
Yep.
they're locking in a more favorable top lane matchup, perhaps. The Smolder
More stable
wasn't
one as well.
definitely. The Smolder wasn't really cutting it against the Aatrox. They're just looking for a more stable lane.
Garen. Garen?
That could be a Garen mid lane flex. I wouldn't. I think Garen and a Cassante is fine, but I think they're more looking at the Garen mid flex.
Are we going to see a Yuumi this game? Because I don't want to see Ketong play a Yuumi.
There's no.
I want him on something with more agency.
I see Vi Oriana lock in for Iona University. That's a nice combination. I mean, that's a lot of disrupt in a
Yep.
team fight. They're definitely looking more for that front to back stable top side.
And it gives the Derpy Bird the playmaking in the early game that he really had yesterday, or in the earlier game. But at the same time, it's kind of more stable late, if that makes any sense. Obviously, Vi isn't going to have a huge impact on late game team fights, but at the very least, you'll get your ultimate off and you'll lock down a carry for at least a little bit of time.
Definitely. And the Aatrox Yone bans coming in from Iona University, really shutting down champs that could be good into the Cassante. I see Ziggs, Samira lock in. Ziggs definitely going mid, Garen's definitely going top, Samira's definitely going bot.
I love that from Step Aside, though, as that's the kind of aggression that I want to see in the bot lane. And saving up your last pick for Ketong, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm really interested on what they're going to try to pair with that Samira. Nautilus would make a lot of sense. One of my favorite, actually, is an OG pick from when Samira first came out, was Pantheon. Pantheon support was also broken at the time that
I was going to say that's more of a Pantheon being broken thing
Yeah.
than a Samira specific. Samira's
no, but
always loved that Nautilus.
it's just that damage that you get off
Yeah.
the empowered W, and then the follow up, because that was also when Samira had the knock up on the
Yeah.
passive proc, which was just crazy stupid. As we got the full draft in front of us right now, so Dylan, where do you think the strengths lie for Stony Brook right now? I mean, obviously, I'm gonna force you to say something besides the bot lane.
Absolutely. I mean, the bot side is looking really strong. Obviously, just Samira and Nautilus as a pairing, strong early game with Jarvan. They're going to start looking for those dives against the Kai'Sa Rakan. Not the strongest lane in the world. This Garen pick has me a little puzzled. Garen into their team doesn't look the best. Orianna, Kai'Sa Rakan, a lot of kiting back, a lot of movement speed. This Garen's going to have a tough time staying on top of their backline.
Yeah. I mean, on the other side, you do have a ton of hard engage where Garen isn't going to have to do a bunch of catch up because that Nautilus ult and just throwing the anchor at the enemy team to drag him into a little bit. And considering also the amount of burst that you have coming out with the potential Inferno Storm as well as anything that Ziggs throws, Garen might just be pressing a Divine Judgment every once in a while.
I think Garen's going to be hitting those towers all game.
Yeah.
Cassante can kind of match Garen, but when Garen starts proxying early on and taking those minions away, Cassante's probably just going to be stuck under tower, letting Garen do his thing. Vi's probably not going to invest much resources into the top lane. A fed Cassante doesn't really
Yeah.
do much. This Vi's definitely going to be looking at covering off those bot lane dives. Jarvan Nautilus, scary pairing. Especially if they get early push, then they can start looking mid.
I mean, maybe a Fed Cassante in this game will do a little bit different because it's not exactly like Kai'Sa or Ziggs have like consistent DPS, but at the same time, you'd assume that they'd be able to burn him down in an extended fight. But at the same time, Cassante could do something there. I think your big ticket winners are going to be this Kai'Sa in the bot lane. They might try to the old approach of fight fire with fire. Try to get your AD carry ahead before they can get Step Aside ahead.
And there's a lot that they can do for that. Vi Rakan, very strong in a 3v3 situation. Vi's going to transition that into more of a, I'm going to spam ult on your head every time you do something.
Yep.
This Samira has a lot of work ahead of her, trying to maneuver the team fight. Samira, a primarily melee AD carry, having to deal with Orianna ult, Rakan disengage, Vi ult, Cassante ult.
Yeah.
This could be a little troubling.
If you want to think about the combinations of the Shockwave as well in this game, I mean, you have point-and-click CC coming out from the Vi that can be followed up with an Orianna ultimate. So Step Aside is going to have to pick his moments in these team fights very, very well in order to get off a maximum amount of damage. I mean, it does clear everything up for the Ziggs a little bit more, but at the same time, you don't really expect a Ziggs to carry a team fight outright.
Kind of, especially as Ziggs gets those third and fourth items online, Ziggs starts to become more of a tower pushing threat. He's just going to throw all of his abilities at you. You're going to be playing a very complicated game of Minesweeper where every time you mess up, you lose 40, 50, 60% of your health bar to one ability. And although Oriana's not that she struggles against Ziggs, but Oriana finds it hard to really get an advantage. So mid lane's going to be pretty neutral for most of the game without jungle interference. Jarvan and Vi are probably both going to be pathing to the bot side. Kai'Sa, Rakan, Samir, Nautilus, both lanes that want to snowball, that want to fight early. So both junglers being there, whoever gets there first basically decides the fate of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I also don't want to skip out on this top lane too much because we saw when you had an island in the top lane last game that Arrow Liners was able to get a big advantage. And because of that, he was just another tool in the arsenal for Stony Brook to win a game. Now, with the Garen as well, you're going to be able to push towers like it's no one's business. You're going to be able to impact the map no matter where you are. Obviously, you don't expect them to be team fighting as much, but that other pressure that you can apply is severely important when you realistically don't have someone that's going to be able to match him in the late game.
Definitely. I mean, Cassante, I still think that the Garen Cassante lane will be an island. I think if either Vi or Jarvan show top, and that's just a free dive for the enemy team bot side. But Garen definitely kind of has the... I'm just gonna shove waves in your tower. I'm just gonna hit it. And what are you gonna do about it?
Yep. And Dylan, I'm gonna test your skin knowledge right now. What is this Samira skin called again?
I don't play Samira. I know the skin. I've seen it in like all my games.
Is it like Soul Fighters or something like that?
Yeah, that's pretty close. It's Soul something.
I think it's something like that. But that Samira skin is my favorite skin. Like one of my favorite skins in the entire game. I think it's really cool.
It's a pretty good Samira skin, though I do have to say I like that Stony Brook pushed into the bot side early, really using that Jarvan Nautilus early game threat to push them off and get some vision. Although it's cleared, it still lets the Vi know that I will be looking in your jungle. I will find you. And I will combo you. And what will you do about it? We can see both bot sides just hanging out, both bushes. Rakan's by himself. Stony Brook doesn't know that. They're just posturing. Jarvan was spotted on a ward in the top side, which I guess I don't really think if you need vision to see where Jarvan's starting.
It's usually red buff.
We know Jarvan's heading bot. I guess it depends. It changes how fast you expect Jarvan to show bot side.
If he has 8 CS showing on map versus 4, you know how many camps he's done, what kind of XP he can have down there, if it's a level 3 or level 4 gank. But again, for Jarvan, it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Absolutely. Jarvan just needs level 3. Level 2 ganking isn't really seen much nowadays. Most junglers find it easier to just hit level 3, level 4, and then go for that gank.
It's inefficient for your jungle pathing to go for a level 2 gank at this point.
Yeah.
Unless that kill in the top lane or the bot lane really just means that much.
But even then, it's like you have to make it work. Otherwise, you're going to be so behind with how fast jungle clears have sped up in the past, let's say, 3 or 4 seasons. You can see there's some early game trades. Rakan immediately
level
jumping in on
2
the
coming
Samira.
out for Iona first, but the level 2 instantly hit back from Stony Brook. They're going to turn on a dime and just try to all in onto Dolphin Lord and get the first blood because of it. Rakan in a bad position as Samira has that S, a dash forward again, and it will be 2 down in the bot lane to start off the game.
And I'm so impressed that Stony Brook was able to find that angle that Iona tried to make something work level 2, but I guess they underestimated how fast Samir and Nautilus would hit level 2 as well. I mean, Samir not the greatest.
Oh, a solo kill coming out onto Tempest. He didn't flash out enough, or soon enough, I should say, and the auto attack follows him. So, gosh, getting a little bit of revenge.
Absolutely. One thing I'm worried about is that if this Ziggs having to blow flash, an artillery mage like Ziggs, a champion who just wants to be able to throw waves and throw his abilities at the wave and hit you at the same time. What this means if Vi wants to look mid early on. Oriana has a ton of base damage early.
I will counter, though, Dylan, with the fact that Oriana also had to blow her flash to make that work happen, so Jarvan can look for the same thing.
True, but I think Ziggs does less damage overall, at least in a burst play like that. Vi's going to be doing more damage than Jarvan at the expense of not having super guaranteed lockdown. Jarvan with flash, EQ flash, very strong, very fast.
Now, I gotta say, I've tried with Vi Q flashes before. It doesn't usually go my way.
Well, it's an important skill to have to be able to land that flash stun. I think that's an important skill in an engaged jungler to have.
Yeah, well, I don't play much jungle, so that's probably why.
That makes sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this Vi knows how to key flash though.
I would hope so. I would really hope so.
We can see the threat of this Nautilus just keeping Kai'Sa Rakan away from hitting those minions. They know he's there, but can they walk up? Probably not.
No, absolutely not. Because again, Keatong, there goes the dredge line, trying to find the auto route onto it, and here comes Enid looking for the little bit of follow-up. Kai'Sa is going to have more than enough damage. A second dash forward, and it's again another 2 kills for the bot lane. One of them going over to Enid. And I don't know. I don't know. It's looking pretty good for Step Aside because, I mean, the games that he's gotten ahead in this year, he ends up going like, 10+ kills without dying.
Absolutely. 2 kills, 4 minutes on Samira, a champion that usually
Snowballs
struggles.
heavily. Yeah.
Definitely. Being able to get that early advantage, just get that first item as soon as humanly possible, that's looking really good for Stony Brook.
Yeah. And this is what I wanted to see last game is nice little knockback from Tempest. Does get a good amount of damage on, but here comes the top of the Gangplank. Arrow Liner's not in a good spot. The flash out will get him to safety. And a little important thing to note there, it was the Q silence onto the Vault Breaker from Vi that was able to really allow him to escape. Because if that CC landed, I have a feeling Derpy Bird would have followed the flash.
Yeah, but it's good that he was able to flash out. I mean, Garen without flash, not the biggest thing to be scared of. It's unlikely that Vi's going to look for a full health top lane dive, and Vi's probably just going to start looking bot side for those early dragons.
Here comes Keatong, nice flash hook to follow up on everything.
Orianna.
And it will be more than likely a kill as there goes the Ignite. Does that do enough?
Just barely.
Yeah, just barely. I think that was about the last tick of it. And it will be another kill over to Keatong. So now he has 2 kills. Not exactly the biggest thing in the world as Nautilus doesn't build any damage or anything like that. But still, we were talking about supports impacting the rest of the map before game 1. Here you go.
Yep, and looking bot right now, this Rakan could be in a little bit of a danger position. Samira not too far away, but things can change at a moment's notice. This Nautilus can look to Hex Flash over a wall, land a root auto onto Kai'Sa, and there goes Kai'Sa's health bar. The barrier is up, and the exhaust will be coming up soon. I'm surprised that Samira didn't take cleanse into the Rakan.
Oh my god, top lane solo kill. Arrow Liners is just dead. I mean, it does make sense. I don't think... No, he did hit level 6, but this is going to force Enid out of the jungle as well as Orianna is chasing him down. A lot of movement speed. The flash from Derpy Bird coming out, and Jarvan's just going to flag and drag out of there. So, in all fairness, I'll give it to him. I'll say he baited the flash, although he really didn't, as Hex Flash ult coming forward. Is this going to be a bit of a play here for Stony Brook bot lane? No, just going to look for some poke damage and back out. Step Aside, not at that level 6 mark, but I feel like the green light is really going to go off in his head once he gets there.
Definitely. This Kai'Sa, this Rakan, looking pretty weak under tower. Nautilus, Samira are definitely going to hit level 6 first with the kill XP and the missing minions under tower. But looking top lane, we can see that it's not much is really happening here. I mean, we saw one gank topside, but it's unlikely that Garen and Cassandra are killing each other solo. But with Vi coming here, this could be a completely different story.
A return gank, and Arrow Liners is just going to have to run out of there as he has no other forms of mobility right now. And hey, I guess it works. He just ran out of there.
Definitely. Like, we can see the problem with Vi looking top, but looking mid, Orianna...
2-man shockwave. That's probably going to disengage that play entirely as Derpy Bird is making his way over to his mid lane on the mini-map. But Arrow Liner's looking for a bit of a pinch, so we still could have a skirmish up here as it's just going to be a straight ult from Garen, and it's a free kill. Knock back onto Vi. Garen will double up, and now we have action on the bot side as well. Under tower, though, so Samira is not going to follow anywhere close to that. Step Aside, thinking better of it.
Yep, and Samira walking away, being very patient, Nautilus going just to get some vision, knowing that the dive could be very risky. Samira with no flash, Rakan with exhaust, that could be a very dangerous dive to try to pull off. It can be pulled off probably, but I wouldn't put it past them to try anyway.
Keatong looking for another dredge line, does find it. Samira level 6, he'll go forward, does go over the Nautilus though, so not exactly where you want the money, but again, it's just over and over and over again. It's going to happen for the rest of the game.
This Kai'Sa's looking quite homeless right now, unable to stay under tower for much longer.
Yep.
Just perishing.
Look at that buy as well from Dolphin Lord. I mean, that's just not fun. When you look at the other side and it's a BF sword and a serrated Dirk for Step Aside, that's so much more damage.
You can see a small little trade happening in the top side. Vi coming in with the Q, forcing Jarvan to flash away, knowing that Rakan and Orianna could be not too far behind. Ziggs stuck under tower. Jarvan's going to make a quick run for it, maybe a flag and drag for it.
Does get out, but still, nonetheless, you don't really want to say Ennet get, having to force that flash or just being a little bit too overextended in the jungle. But nonetheless, Stony Brook coming back out on the minimap. Keetong out there will be able to secure some more space, and it might be able to play towards mid as we have 3 people showing up so far. Flag, drag, ult coming out. Orianna will flash over it, and that will be the end as, again, good play right there for Stony Brook. That could set up a potential dragon. It looks like it will because Kosh really has no way to try to get into a team fight without that flash.
Yeah, and we can see that Samira is kind of being pressured 1v2 in lane right now. Still full health, flash available. It's unlikely that Kai'Sa or Rakan are going to do much more. They know that Jarvan and Nautilus are lurking bot side. We see a small play. The Vi looks like she ulted onto the Ziggs under tower.
Tempest, HP going very low. Final auto will do it. Kosh getting himself a kill, and it's been a very active game for Derpy Bird despite only having 2 assists.
The dragon being taken, Jarvan just retreating into his jungle calmly. Vi's looking for that second grub spawn. Cassante resetting. Vi can probably take the solo. It's unlikely that Garen and Jarvan are really going to look, but
Nautilus interrupts from Keetong, but again, Samira not really there to follow up on anything. And again, it's a 10 CS lead, 2 kill lead for Step Aside. Not a lot of plates. You do have to mention that. Stony Brook hasn't gotten much pressure on the tower despite being up so much. But the 3K goal lead for Stony Brook is entirely in this bot lane.
Yeah, and that's where you want the gold difference to be. I mean, Ziggs is great with gold, don't get me wrong, but Ziggs will not have as much of an immediate impact on the game with gold compared to, let's say, a Samira with the Collector, and Tabby's being bought very shortly. Ziggs looks like he's pressuring that mid tower. Just 1 or 2 more plates, a little greedy. Vi
W should get him out. Jumps over the Vi right there, and some slows are going to come out from the minefield. Jarvan is here to help out, and it's just too much greed from the Derpy Bird, not respecting where the Jarvan can be, and it will be a kill over to Stony Brook. A follow-up play onto Orianna as well, and she gets dunked by the ult coming out from Ziggs. Mega Inferno Bomb living up to its name as now Cassante is getting chased across the map, but he has enough dashes to be able to escape.
And Ziggs looking to push for that next crate. I wouldn't say Ziggs is big and greedy. He's a Yordle. It's small and greedy. But that's a lot of gold going into his pocket. Jarvan starting the Void Grubs. Very important with Garen and Samira, both champions who are going to hit plates easily. Don't even get me started on Ziggs with AP hitting towers late game. You might not even need them.
Yeah, I mean, it's an auto or 2 into your satchel, and that's it. As Step Aside getting jumped on right now, does pull the trigger with the S rank coming out. It's probably more than enough healing / damage for him to easily navigate this 1-on-2. Keetong coming in just in case. He'll get 1 kill, looking for the Rakan. Dashes out to safety. Samira still going forward. Step Aside can't get it.
Both 80 carries trading flashes. This could bite him in the butt as Vi comes in.
Second ult proc, not enough to kill the Vi, but Keetong can probably look to go forward. Does miss the dredge line. Now gets knocked up, not under tower, or is actually. He's just fully face tanking it. 1-on-2 for the support now. It's a little bit of supportal combat, and he'll get 2 before dying to the tower. Chad Keetong doing it all by himself, and then a solo kill in the mid lane, because why not? 3 dead at 12 minutes. Now Garen is looking to proxy as well. It's just action across the map.
It's just an absolute bloodbath, which is what you want to see when you see a Jarvan, when you see a Nautilus, a Samira. You just want to see fighting constantly, and this plays right into Stony Brook's hands. We can see that they already have a 5,000 gold advantage, and Garen's proxying, just going to keep building that. Stridebreaker, Cassante's not really going to be doing much damage to him, I say, but he's also a really disgustingly strong tank when it comes to dealing damage.
Yeah, but at the same time, if Arrow Liners takes a bad trade, he'll do what you just saw. It's the slow from Stridebreaker into the Phase Rush proc with the Q speed, and all of a sudden he's going Mach 5 out of any type of engage you're doing. And again, Derpy Bird, nowhere safe for him to farm as his own jungle is being inhibited by these pests known as Seawolves. And they're just going to force him probably to recall, but maybe not. Just might work his way over to the Wolves instead, as Keetong does look for a Q in the mid lane, I believe. He's in a 1-on-2 against Orianna or Rakan, but again, he might be the tankiest member in the entire game right now, considering how many kills he's gotten, just boosted the gold that he has.
Definitely. Looking at that locket, those Merc treads, that's gonna have a lot of value. He might be the tankiest person in the entire game with the Aftershock coming in, especially. Vi trying to contest that blue buff. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Jarvan flagging and dragging on
it forward. The silence as well. Ult out from Garen, but he's getting very, very low. Saved by Tempest as He gets the satchel proc into the wall. Again, it acts as a form of CC, and now a dive coming out in the bot lane, just absolutely erasing Dolphin Lord. Cassante going all in, trying to look for as much of a fight as he can find. Jarvan pulling in 2 members on the ultimate right there, then flashing out 2 dunks from Ziggs. Now it's a re-dive in the bot lane. Step aside will fall to the tower, as it was well played from Diagram there. And again, it's just action all across the map as much as you like, as quickly as you like. And it's 18-6 for Stony Brook in kills.
Even ignoring the kill deficit, just the plates deficit, the objectives deficit, it's really building up as there's an 8,000 gold lead at 15 minutes. If you're Iona University right now, you're wondering, how can I get gold? How can I get back into this game? It seems like we're just bleeding gold everywhere, and that plays right into Stony Brook's hands. They love the chaos. They love creating these play opportunities on both sides of the map. You can see that right now, Keetong landing a small little hook on the Rakan. Both supports just handshaking it, saying, okay, I guess we're not killing each other.
And I want to point it out, despite all that we've been talking about the Samira, it's the Ziggs hitting 2 items so early. I mean, those ultimates are going to be doing half the HP of probably everyone on the enemy team at this point.
Yep, with the Jarvan Cataclysm coming down into a Ziggs ult, if no one flashes, we know that Vi can Q out, we know that Rakan can W out, but anyone else stuck inside the Cataclysm is going to be taking so much damage this early in the game. And if a flash is blown ever, you can expect to see a Jarvan on top of you in 2 minutes.
Drake up right now, so an objective to fight for. This turret is a satchel charge away from falling, but
Ziggs demonstrating amazing patience, just waiting to put the W down, saving it for this team fight.
Rakan getting jumped on. He's going to go down, and Tempest is dominating, in fact, as it does say on the scoreline. Turret taking after that, and step aside. He's going to get jumped on here right now, looking to get as many of those stacks up quickly. Does get the S rank, looking to pull the trigger, and he does. His team comes up to help, and they get a double kill for step aside. 3 dead right now, and the dragon is going to be free as you like.
And in just 1 minute, we see that the gold lead grew by another 3,000.
Yep, 10k gold lead at 15 minutes is a little insurmountable.
And the Rift Herald being dropped in mid lane, that's just going to build it up. Another probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 over the next few minutes. Garen taking
another hook coming out. Step aside going forward. Kaisa doing his best to get out of the ranges of step aside, but nowhere you can go is safe from this Samir at this point in the game.
This Samira might as well be full build. You see a Collector and Tabbies, and I see a 5-item Samira in the making.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what Step Aside's back is right now, because he's close right now to a second item, but not exactly close enough, as a little bit different overlay right now, but we'll get to see his items soon enough, hopefully, as Garen getting jumped on in the top, all out to pull him over the wall. Vi needs to regroup with his Cassante right now, but again, Garen, he's just so damn fast. He just runs out of everything, but still getting chased down nonetheless. I think he went a little bit back in. It's the dunk coming out from Tempest one more time in the one-on-one with the Vi. Should have more than enough damage to finish it off. But here comes the Rakan turning around the fight. Enough CC coming out, and Tempest will fall. Oh, but just barely gets the last Q off. And here comes Keetong in the mid lane. Again, this Kaisa is just being bullied at this point. Someone called the cyberbully police, because it's just unfair. He doesn't get to play the game. Dolphin Lord does not get to play the game.
Yeah, you can really feel the impact of picking Kaisa Rakan and having a jungler who's behind. They just can't get gold. Kaisa really wants to hit 3 items, 3 items, stack some dragons, but this Kaisa just can't find a way into the game. This Kaisa is going to be biting on granite, trying to hit this Garen, hit this Jarvan, hit the Nautilus with Aftershock. I mean, if you're Kaisa, you're thinking, okay, how am I going to eat these health bars?
Yep. And another thing that I want to point out to you that is absolutely unfair is the fact that Tempest is working towards a death cap right now. And at the maximum, he's 1,100 gold away from it. At 17 minutes, as we're just going to get another fight. Keetong knocked towards the tower, now pulled under it as well. Vi on the other side of the screen will be for a 2-1-1 split fight. But Step Aside going in with the ult, laying down a good amount of damage, but not nearly enough to kill anyone. Step Aside now in a poor position. He will get shut down by Vi. Ziggs with a Mega Infernal Bomb from halfway across the map is not going to do anywhere near enough to turn the fight around. It's just going to be a second over to Iona if they can knock down this Jarvan, but enough disengage comes out from Tempest, and Init is going to walk away with his life. They might look for a little bit of a re-engage right now, as Init's just going to throw these Qs from across the other side of the wall, and everyone will walk away. So only one dropping in the end, as that Kaisa kill obviously was at a different point in time, but shutdowns are coming across, Dylan, and Iona is getting gold back.
One thing I'm worried about, though, is that this Ziggs is going to start looking like a Vigar
Oh
very
my
shortly.
god, what is going on in the bottom lane? That was unholy and disgusting from Aeroliners. If he gets out of this, I'm going to be mad. He's one auto attack away from going down, but here comes the move speed procking in. 1Q will get him away from everything. Stridebreaker coming out alive. There is no way that he just did that. I'm not going to lie. If I was the Gales right now, I'm mental boom.
Definitely. I mean, that was abhorrent what just happened. This Garen looking so filthy on my screen.
Oh.
Karens, you might have to cover your kid's eyes for that one.
Oh my god. It's the Stridebreaker and Phantom Dancer combo. What was just happening right there? Did Rakan see him over the wall? I think he did.
Perhaps. I mean, Cassante, low HP, they're going to be looking for this top tower right now. And if they get a Cassante with it, that's just bonus. That's a bonus Cassante on the spit if they can get it.
Cassante, fair enough, he is pretty tanky at this point in the game. The Sunfire as well as the plated steel caps. Keatong looking for a little bit of a hook right there, but just walks right back out. How many times have you seen a Nautilus so far ahead where he can queue into the entire enemy team and then walk back out like nothing happened?
Yeah, this Nautilus is not taking damage. I see a Locket, I see a Knight's Vow, and big W shield this early on. We see the Nautilus ult coming out on the Orianna. Will they follow that up?
Straight onto Orianna, like you said. Enough damage to take him down as it's just an unfair fight at this point. Step aside with the ult. He will pull the trigger and get another kill, up to 8-3 in the game. Keatong is just continuously throwing out these Qs off cooldown. Step aside, flash forward. I don't think that's where you want to be right now, but his teammates are there to support him. The Cassante going low, trying to get the kill onto the Samira as a consolation will, but they're aced in the base at 26 minutes. Stony Brook is going to march down this top lane and end the game more than likely as Ziggs, the satchel charges, will be enough to finish it. Definitely a lot quicker than last game. Stony Brook onto the Nexus, and that will close out our second game. Stony Brook taking this series 2-0.
Absolutely, and if I'm Stony Brook, I'm feeling pretty good about this. The play could have been a little better. We saw that Ziggs was getting ganked a lot, soaking a lot of that pressure, but in the end, a win is a win.
A win is a win. A win is a win is a win.
And we saw a great play from all three lanes. It didn't feel like one lane completely took over the game, but it was really the impact of this Jarvan pick. And looking at the scoreboard at the end of the game, I'm seeing basically a full build Samira.
Yep.
You may see 2 items,
Yep.
I see 5.
I mean, at that point, it doesn't really matter because it's 2.5 the end of the game, but it's so much damage coming out from the Samira. It's so much damage coming out from the Ziggs and everyone else. You can't deal with it for the Gales.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at this team and I'm wondering, what do you do next? What do you change about draft?
Yep.
But in the end, a win is a win, as stated before. I'm happy for Stony Brook. Stony Brook's happy for themselves.
Yep.
And I'm taking some lessons from that. I'm taking maybe we got to tone down the aggression a little bit. A lot of sloppy plays, especially in Game 1, but Game 2 looked a lot cleaner. Maybe channeling that.
So we are going to come back in just a couple of minutes. And Dylan, you are going to be interviewing Tempest today, as he did have quite an immaculate series. And we're going to kick it over to a break to set that interview up, so don't go anywhere to hear from the mid laner of the Seawolves.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Esports. After a dominating performance, I'm here with Val, the mid laner for today, normally playing top lane, but how do you feel as the captain of the team with your team's performance?
I'm really proud of my team. I think this year we have a really solid lineup and a really solid roster, and I think we can make it far. And I'm proud to be a captain
And I'm
to
proud
this
to
team.
and I'm proud to watch you guys win. I mean, that game 1 looked a little sloppy, but game 2 you guys really like reeled it in and just kept pushing forward. What do you think changed that? Was it just like did you just need the second game just like what did you have to think about in between?
I think the first game we just took like certain skirmishes that were not in our favor and didn't play to our team comp strength, and we played into enemy team comp strength. I think we were in control throughout the game. It's just that sometimes we did some things that stunted our snowball instead of continuing it. In game two, I like I was so wrong about the Ziggs versus Orianna matchup because every time I played it in solo queue and like I have played Ziggs versus Ori in competitive, and usually I come out on top on the Ziggs, but this guy was a really good Orianna and his lane was really strong. But I think once, especially in game two, we had a much snowballier comp. I just took tier 2 towers in like 15 minutes and the game was just pretty much over from there
Yeah, I
because
mean,
there's a 3 item Ziggs at like 18 minutes.
yeah, totally. I mean, your Zig started to look like a Vigor at the amount of damage you were doing with your ultimates. But going into the next question, how do you think that your play styles will evolve and change throughout the season? I mean, as a team, I mean, you guys have been playing a lot of aggressive comps. Do you plan on keeping that style? Do you think that's what suits you guys the most, or do you think that or do you guys think that you'll be more flexible in the future?
I think as of right now, from what we think, we probably have the best laners in the conference and in the tournament, like from top to support. And I think we just play off our strong lanes and play off our skirmishing and team fighting. But it's going to be interesting because we're not playing on Worlds patch, the next patch with the new item changes. I feel like the meta is going to be a little bit different than the one on Worlds. Not too different, but enough that competitively speaking, it can make a difference. Um, we're still adjusting to certain things, and we're not perfect yet, but I think as the season goes by, we're just going to get better.
That's great to hear, honestly. I mean, I'm excited for the next patch. I'm excited to see what the new item changes and the map changes. I mean, we just found out that Ward XP is being removed. I mean, supports are in shambles right now. But going into our next question, who on your team now that you're like 3 weeks in, getting comfortable with each other, who do you think is demonstrating the most progression right now?
Um, I'm going to be speaking as well for in terms of last year because I played with this player before. I think Andy, step aside, his progress from last year as a rookie coming in to now has just been insane. Um, and I assume the same that's going to happen with Aaron, our top laner, Airliner. When I see those two, when saw them coming in as rookies, and they're just only going to get better from there. Like Andy came in as like a Kai'Sa one trick, and now he's evolved into a much more reliable carry ADC. Definitely one of the best that I've ever played with, and I'm happy to have him. And I think Aaron, if he continues to play in esports and can play for the league team going forward, I think he's going to evolve into a fantastic player. Whether he goes mid, top, jungle, doesn't matter.
That shows. We saw the Kaisa picks being taken away and the Kaisa bans as well in previous games. But I think that's enough for us for today. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Val. I mean, it's great that you represent the team and you're such a phenomenal captain and a mentor for your players.
Thank
And
you.
I'm excited to see where they're going. But tune in more next week, and especially tomorrow. Stony Brook has fantastic lineups for more than just League of Legends. If you want to tune in for more content later down the road, we're welcome to supply. A lot of exciting games coming up for you guys as well. A lot of strong teams coming up later too as well. I can't wait to see you guys perform.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on.
It was a pleasure.